If you're a mom who's felt like you've lost yourself in the chaos of motherhood, then this one's for you. 75 Hard is way more than a fitness challenge. It was a mental reset and comeback for me, honestly. I did 75 Hard myself and I never felt stronger mentally, physically, and emotionally. But today I got to sit down with my friend Holly, mom of 4, who lives in Canada, who just finished 75 Hard. No shortcuts, no excuses, just grit, grace, and so much growth. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know if you're considering starting 75 Hard or you are, I linked all the items that I used all 75 days that helped me a lot in the link below. So if you're considering starting 75 Hard, I would definitely go check out those items. They helped me a lot. Okay, without further ado, here's my interview with Holly. It's raw, real, and ridiculously inspiring. So let's get to it. Ooh, I cannot wait. This is going to be amazing. Hi!
Hi!
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for doing this. I'm so excited. I think this is a topic that is really going to be very vital for moms. I'm excited to dive in and actually go into this because anyways, it's not easy to pour from
It's not easy. Yeah. It's not easy.
Yeah. So Holly, before we dive
Yeah.
in, just tell everyone a little bit about yourself and
Okay.
also kind of maybe what got you interested in doing 75 Hard. Also, hold on.
Yeah.
Time out. Maybe say people are listening, they don't know exactly what 75 Hard is. So let's define what that is in case people don't know all of that, what it entails, because it's a lot.
It is a lot. So 75 Hard. So I'll start with that. So 75 Hard it's like a mental toughness challenge. And basically you have like rules or guidelines. Let's say guidelines. That seems nicer, even though it's a hard challenge. So correct me if I'm wrong too, okay? So no alcohol. You're reading 10 pages of a nonfiction book every day. These are every day for 75 days. 45-minute indoor workout and a 45-minute outdoor workout. It literally could be weights outside, but it has to be outside, no matter the weather. What am I missing? Oh, no cheats. Like you can't just eat a little cheat, like treaty treat.
You make your own diet.
Yes.
But like Andy Frisella, who created 75 Hard, says you can't have sweets, but as far as your diet, because this was the whole thing for me, and I had to start because of this rule.
Right, and then because it was a diet, you have to choose a diet.
Yeah, what you choose, and you can't change it in the middle. You have to do it. That's the big and no carbs. It doesn't mean that's for everyone.
And I want to say something. The word diet is such a weird word too, because people seem to think it's like, okay, now I'm going to restrict everything. But no, a diet is like in how you're going to fuel your body. So for me, I did have maple syrup. I had honey. And I went really high protein. I didn't cut out carbs completely. I didn't say like no gluten, no dairy. I just went really high protein and clean ingredients because that worked for me. And that's something I needed. Like I had to say no to the chippies. No chippies. It was really hard, but it's no matter what you decide is your diet. Obviously, it's not going to be McDonald's cheeseburgers every day. Like that doesn't count. That's what's the point. But you can't deviate, right? So there's a diet. So then you can't cheat out of that. And have no like treats. It's not like you have a cheat meal during the week or whatever. And then I'm missing something. Oh, gallon of water a day. I can't believe I forgot that one. That one was so hard for me. We'll talk about that. But a gallon of water every day. So right. Progress photo. Yes.
It's literally one time on my 75 Hard. It was luckily towards the beginning. I missed it. I missed my picture, and I started over twice. That's why I want to go into how you did it, Holly, because you didn't start over once. You went the whole 75 days clean.
I was literally so scared to start again. I was like, I'm not going to make it. Okay, so I should probably...
We're going to go into that. But yeah, it's the 2 workouts, the water, the picture, the reading.
And then eating a specific diet for yourself.
Okay, good. So the
alcohol, yeah. And then a little bit about me. My name's Holly Bowman, and I live in Canada, and I have 4 children. And I don't even know how I did this with 4 kids. I'm just going to say it. I don't know how I did it, but I have 4 children and I'm currently at home with my youngest, but I'm also studying um, for a career change in the future. I also have a micro flower shop. So I'm a florist. I started that business a couple years ago. So I'm going to probably bring it back to the new town that we moved into. We actually just moved towns over the summer. We sold a house, bought a house, renovated a house while living with family while I was doing the 75 hard challenge. I don't know. I used to be a homeschool mom. I'm not a homeschool mom anymore. My kids now go to school. Like 3 kids go to school. I just have a lot of balls in the air, just a lot of tabs open.
So Holly, what? Okay, this is my main question. So you have a lot. You're changing careers. You just
Hmm.
moved. You have 4 kids, and your kids aren't like older. How old are
No.
your kids?
So my oldest is 9. He'll be 10, which is crazy to me over the summer. I have a 7-year-old, an almost 5-year-old, and a 2.5-year-old. Yeah, he's so sweet. He's 2.5. He's so sweet.
And you
So
have
they're young.
3 boys.
Yes.
I
So I have a
want to
boy and then a girl
that
and two, yeah.
for 4 girls. So
Yeah, so I have a boy and then a girl, and then I have 2 younger boys. Although my daughter can really run with the best of
I
them, but yeah, they're all very high energy.
I
Pardon?
love that she's just with all the boys. Like she's gonna be so strong-willed when she's older, unless
She
she
and
probably
I mean
is now.
she already is. Like she is the glue. My husband always say she is the glue for our family because she just keeps it. She can like really roll with the punches, but when she needs like she's just so, oh my gosh. We could do a whole separate live about how amazing Eloise is. So
Oh
maybe
my
we'll do that one day.
yeah,
She's
more
amazing. Yeah.
to come. More to come.
Yes.
So, okay, so with all this going on, with moving, with living in Canada, which is
Oh yeah.
not warm, it's cold there, and you did
Yeah.
this in the winter, not like you
Yeah.
even did this in summertime.
No. I mean, I really truly had I known, because so I grew up in Ottawa, which is like the capital of Canada. We do get a lot of snow there, but I had been living in Toronto for probably longer than I'd actually like lived at home. Like when I moved out, anyway, I was really, really desensitized because Toronto doesn't get the same amount of snow as Ottawa does. Ottawa's a bit more north, right? So we end up moving to a small town called Stratford, which is the sweetest, like Hallmark movie town. I love it so much. My husband grew up here. It's beautiful. I'm so happy to be here. But it's a snow belt, which I did not know. So we had so much snow this year. And also, this was a record breaking winter. Like, we had more snow this year than they had seen in, like, a lot of the people were telling me, like, since the 80s. Like, it was insane. Like, I would be walking outside with snow, like, up to my knees. It'd be like resistance training. Like, anyone
Oh,
who followed along will just see me, like, it's still snowing, and I'm wearing, like, literally,
like
like all
walking
the
around.
elements. I look, you would never know it was me. Just, just the only person outside in a blizzard. I'm like, gotta get it done. It was wild. I don't, yeah.
Okay, so how did this happen? Okay, so I want to go into like what made you want to do this? You started January 1st, like right at the beginning of the year,
No,
right?
the 6th. The 6th. I gave myself, my kids started back at school on the 6th of January. So I wanted to make sure that I had all my holidays with them. I also felt like I needed, I mean, to be fair, January 1st, I started the year. I wasn't eating refined sugar, like I was like, I'm gonna just start now. But I
Yeah, yeah.
used those days leading up to get myself prepped because I genuinely thought I cannot fail this. I've told too many people now. Like I've told too many people the accountability, like the pressure, like I mean, I thrive on it, but I told too many people that I was doing this and I'm not willing to fail publicly. Like I will if I have to, but I
Yeah.
don't want to.
Well, it's
So
accountability too. Like
right.
have it's not just you, it's like
Yeah.
making it known. And I what's so great about social media, sorry to cut you off, but what's so great
Yeah.
about social media is you can communicate and tell people and then you can actually be like, oh shoot, I just communicated this thing. I have to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I kind of needed it. Like I needed to know that someone on the internet knows that I'm doing this and they will call my bluff. I needed someone. Like, I don't care if you're a random stranger, just you can make me feel bad for it.
Yeah.
I know I'm weird, but so I took those like days to kind of set myself up for success and then I knew the first day the kids went back to school, I would be ready. I mean,
Okay.
I don't think you're ever ready. But anyway,
Oh,
so I decided to do, so the thing you asked me, like, what made me even decide to do a 75 hard? So I've heard about 75 hard maybe a couple of years ago. I followed this really great mom on Instagram, actually. Her name is Mari. And her handle is Mari Wags. She's
oh,
amazing. She has four boys. She lives in Minnesota, and she's just like so badass. Like she truly introduced me to like having discipline, and I would just follow her life as we all do on Instagram
yeah.
and like silently watch her journey. And I'm like, wow, this woman's amazing. Like she has four boys and she's getting up every day and she's doing her thing. And I was not in a season of my life 2 years ago to even do this. I wanted to do it. The interest was there, but it just wasn't the vibe. It was a different time. Um, and then actually, wildly, I was thinking about it because I've kind of been on a wellness journey over the last year and a bit. And you were doing the 75 hard challenge. And I was like, what? That's amazing. And so that was really fun to follow your journey. I remember messaging you saying, Megan, like, I
Yeah.
want to do it, but I'm so scared. Like, I don't think I can
No,
do it. And you're like, you can do it.
Holly, you just have to
And I'm
do it. You can't think
like,
about
I don't know. You have to don't think about it, just do it.
it. Yeah.
So I finally was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And so that kind of introduced me to it. Um, and I just felt like it was the push I needed. I needed something
Yeah.
because I was, working out a little bit here and there. And, I was taking my supplements and getting outside, but I wasn't doing it to the fullness that I knew that I was capable of doing.
Yeah.
And I was scared of it. If I'm going to be honest, like freaked out about committing to something that I've never worked out that long in my life. Like I've never been like the fitness girly. I'm a naturally petite woman. I've been able to get away with not being active, um, for like the body thing, but that's not actually why I did 75 hard to
What?
begin with. It wasn't like, oh,
Good.
I did it because I needed to prove to myself that I could keep a promise to myself
Mm.
and to show myself that I was like worthy of doing something that was outside of my family. And not because I don't genuinely enjoy taking care of them, because I'm all in on my, like I'm all in on the mama role. And I've done that for, it's almost been 10 years.
Yeah.
Um, but it was very far and few between that I would choose something for myself and stick with it.
Yeah.
And I needed that. I felt like I was finally in a position where, my youngest was 2. He doesn't need me in the same way. Of course, all of my kids need me. Like the amount of snack plates I make on an average, like it's insane. But
Yeah.
I was at a position in my life where I was like, okay, things are changing. We're also in the middle of a massive transition. We moved towns, we're renovating a house, my kids go to school, like we're in a different chapter.
Yeah.
So I could see that there was possibility for me to do that for myself. So that was kind of why I did it. Obviously the byproduct strong and gaining like biceps was awesome. Like I love that I feel strong now in my body, but it was never like, oh, I want to like cut this much weight, or you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I
Find
wanted
abs.
the wins and successes and a little bit like what you got
Yeah,
out of it. But I want to go into like okay, so you decided after all of that you're like, okay, it's time. And obviously the beginning of the year is great because it's like a new fresh
sure.
start. And a lot of people feel motivated in January when the new year's starting. And I think that is a good time to like really implement something new. But
Yeah.
it's a whole other thing to like stick to it and the discipline of it.
Yeah.
Were you scared about like not were you scared about like starting it and not finishing
Yeah.
it, or your mindset on
I
that?
mean, if you ask anyone, I'm notorious to go like, I get really obsessed with something and I will go all in. But I also like I got like shiny objects. I'm like, ooh, that's really cool. I want to do that now. And ooh, that's really cool. I want to do that now. And I think sometimes with discipline, like you can be really disciplined by doing something, but get easily distracted. Your focus can shift. And I have a tendency to be like, that seems cool. I can do that. And oh, that seems cool. I can do that too.
Yeah.
But it's a totally different mindset to be like, I'm staying in this lane and I'm doing it to the end. And I
Yeah.
think with that, it truly, like, I was scared. Like, I would every day, I'm like, okay, I have this many more post-its to take off. Am I ever going to see day 50? Like, am I ever going to see day 20 at this point? Like, I'm taking off the sticky, be like, okay, I can do it. And it was a constant battle. And people are like, like, I would have messages saying, like, how are you so motivated? I'm like, I'm not. I just don't want to fail publicly. I just want to do it and take that sticky off. My kids are watching. My
Yeah.
kids are watching me. And like, I obviously, there's so many reasons to justify not doing something. And I could easily have explained to my kids, I'm tired. I'm so tired. Or, you guys gave me a big runaround with bedtime and I didn't get my workout in or whatever, but they're not an excuse. They're the reason. And they're watching me. They're
Oh,
cheering me on. So if,
yeah.
if I need any accountability partners, it's like my four, like my crew are just like, so what day are you on? What are you doing now? What are you lifting? And I'm
Oh,
like, oh
would
my
they ask?
gosh, pressure. Yeah, and like my youngest would come in and he would like try to he'd pick up my ankle weights, like like what, 2.5 pounds and or 2 pounds, and he'd be like, oh, doing like little Pilates moves because he was watching me do it. But the kids were invested. My oldest is like, how many days do you have left? Like he's so competitive. He's like, okay. He's like looking at them, like he was very interested
Oh,
in
I
it.
love
I mean,
that.
but that's the thing too, is like they're watching. Like our kids are watching us. So there was also that added pressure of like, I don't want to fail. I think it's okay to fail in front of your kids as long because it's what happens after that. It shows growth. But I do think there's something to be said about being disciplined in something and showing your kids like when something's hard, you can do hard things and you can push through the uncomfortable. You can confront it and keep going and pushing through and working together.
That's,
I had a lot of support on my family.
yeah. I really love that you said that. I think it's so important because I think as moms, we can get so into like when we finally do something for ourselves, it is about us. And we don't always think about like, especially if our kids are younger, that they're really taking in
Yeah.
everything. Even if they're not communicating with you, they're like watching you.
Yeah.
And like it's sets such a great example. Like when I was on 75, my husband's on 75 hard now.
Okay, you're saying.
A couple times and had to restart. So I feel like he's been on it forever. I don't even know what day he's on. But my point is they start like loving going to the gym with us now, or they'll try to lift the weights or go. My son, who just turned 8, will go run with him sometimes on his runs.
I love
And
that.
it's either that or like imagine the opposite of that, not doing anything. And then they
Hmm.
don't have that example. So I think that, I don't know if us moms, I didn't at least think of all of that till I was on 75 hard of like how in our actions are on them and how
Yeah.
vital it is to like when we do something for ourselves, it's not selfish because our kids are watching us and we're setting the example. So
Right.
if we think about it, because all the, we've all had the mom guilt come in on us. And,
Yes.
but if we look at it from the viewpoint of like, okay, I'm doing this for me and my kids get to watch me improve myself, that I don't get how that could be selfish if you're looking at it in that viewpoint, that bigger viewpoint.
Yeah. I've had that viewpoint too. So that was a challenge for me to be like, no, it's okay that you guys are going to have a snack. Like if I didn't get my workout in the morning when they're all sleeping, because sometimes I needed to rest and sleep. There's no rest days on 75 hard. And I'd be like, my body is sore. Like I don't want to wake up at 4:30 anymore. I want to do it later. So it's okay for my kids after school to have a snack and I go work out. And if they need me, they can come find me. But it's okay to not always be there. And my kids are young and I mean, like I said, I homeschooled my kids before. So up with them 24 hours on me.
Oh, you
Oh, there you
froze.
are. You froze a little bit. Oh, you froze too. But like I was with my kids 24/7. So it was a really weird, it's been a bit of a challenge also just with them not being with me all the time, but me also being like, it's okay for mom to go do this. Like, and if I'm confident in my decision, they'll be confident in my decision.
Yeah.
If I start to waver, they're like, wait a second, mama's uneasy. She's not certain in this. Like, maybe we shouldn't be either. So it's hard. It is really hard to delegate time for yourself. But it is like it's so important. And I feel like I'm a much better mother because of it, because I was able to do it and spend time and feel strong and commit to not eating the chips on the Friday night and um you know explain to the kids like, yeah, I'm going to work out if you want to work out with me. And like, it's just it was a really cool experience
That is,
that I don't think I would have got the same wins had I not done it, you know?
yeah. Did you ever have to have your husband help you with stuff? Like, how did it work with your husband? And like, was he had to, like, how much did you have to like lean on him a bit? Because I think it's important when you're doing something like this to have communication
Hmm.
with your partner so you guys can work together,
Yeah.
obviously. That would probably
So
make it a lot
this
easier.
was kind of a blessing. Yes, I did this in the middle of like a Canadian winter, but the blessing was that we actually lived with my husband's aunt, who is a saint. I swear to you, she's the most amazing person. She actually has my toddler and my dog right now. Um, but she was so great because I would drop the kids off, I'd come home, and she would hang out with the toddler so I could trek through that snow because there was no way that I would be able to take a 2-year-old for
Right.
45 minutes in a blizzard. So I had to rely on her a lot during the day in order to like do anything. I mean, I already make most meals from scratch, so that wasn't a huge problem. Husband works in Toronto, so he is still commuting about 2 hours every day, like each
Wow.
way. So he would do what he could when he was home. And, Mama's doing this, or on the weekends, I would be like, hey, you're with the kids. I'm going to run out with the dog. I'm going to do that. Like, and
Yeah.
he was always very supportive. He knew. I mean, I had those days like after the new year. I'm like, hey, so this is what's happening. He saw the post-its, and there were some times where he saw the post-its. He knew. There were some times where we'd be like, oh, but normally we would have done this. And I'm like, okay, so normally we would do this, but I can't do that right now. So this is what we're gonna have to do instead. And then we just had to kind of like work through it. I mean,
Yeah.
communication is so important with like I had to talk to the whole family about it, like call a family meeting. Kids,
Yeah.
this is what's happening.
I love that.
This person is good, because like I truly don't think I could have done it had I not had Aunt Susie's help, because
Yeah.
she was a really big player in not only watching the toddler, but also like she was like my hype girl. She's like, yes, you did it again. Like she's like, did you work
Oh,
out today? I'm like, I'm not missing another day. I'm not missing a day. Of course, she's like, you're amazing. Like every day she would cheer me on, and it was the best because I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm the best. I didn't miss a day. Like she was always blown away that I did not miss a workout, because I was blown away that I didn't miss
yeah.
a workout. And there was a few times where yeah, there was a few times where I almost missed a workout. Like I almost completely failed. And I was just like,
Question, we'll just go right into it. Like, was there ever a point where you're like, I can't do this? Like, this is so,
yes.
I have 4 children and it's blizzarding
It's
outside.
the
Like, were you ever like, how am I?
yes. Well, I mean, because at first you're like, okay, I'm doing this thing, and there's like this energy and there's this motivation of doing something new, like the shiny new thing. It gets exciting, right? You're
Yeah.
like, okay, 2 weeks in, I can eat all this cottage cheese, no problem. Like, I got this, right? But then there does like the fun is no longer fun because you're in it.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
I think
cutting.
you froze on me. Oh, you froze on me too. Okay, so I don't know where I left off there,
You,
but
there's a
uh,
point
yeah,
where that's,
well, there's a point where the fun wears off. I mean, Andy
yeah,
Frisella talks about that in his book, but like the fun's kind of like, okay, it's not a shiny thing anymore. And we're still in it. Like it's committing to doing it, even when it doesn't feel like this exciting, brand new goal you have, right?
right.
So there were some lulls where I was just like, man, I don't want to. And when it was really bad out, I would think, I have to go back out there. Okay. But the crazy thing is, I set myself up for success. I bought myself the long johns. I had like 3 layers on. I had the neck warmer, the balaclava. Like I had the podcast episodes. I had the audiobooks. I had like the timer on my phone. Like I had set
Good.
myself up and had created such a routine, especially for the outdoor. Like I had to do that before because I could work out at home, no problem. But getting outside was so like I could have easily hermited. Like I'm a hermit during the winter. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not into like it's
Right.
snowing right now. Why are you still snowing? Why? And I'm glad I'm not out there.
Uh,
Like I'm so grateful to be
God,
like, I did it. Like I'm good on you. But that was hard. And then some nights, my kids, I would be doing solo bedtime. And we lived not in our own home. So we all shared one bedroom, which is fine because my kids, we all kind of co-sleep and
yeah.
we're all very close. And so that's
Yeah.
fine. But they would give me a hard time with bedtime, and I hadn't done my workout earlier on in the day. So then there would be times where like, okay, everyone's finally sleeping, and I would fall asleep with Douglas, like my youngest, and I'd wake up, it's like 10:30 at night, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I haven't done my 45-minute workout in. I haven't got it in.
So
I
you
just
could have
got it.
fallen.
So I would have just passed out. So I had to like peel myself out of bed, put on my workout clothes. And so, I mean, there was times where I finished a workout at like at midnight or like at 12:15, like right before I went to bed. Or I'd be lying in bed chugging water because I'd be like 2 Stanleys behind, you know what I'm saying? And I'd just be like, it hurts so bad, but like, and I would have to take like like 10 sips, like 10 massive sips with like 10 big deep breaths just to get it in. And then I would like lie there and I'd be like, I am so full of water right now. Why? And then I'd be like, Holly, you need to manage your time better. Like, put those, I had alarms on my phone that say water, water, water. And then I was like, I got this. And I took them off and I had to continue to remind myself, don't put those back in because it's 9 o'clock at night and I'm like, chugging Stanleys of water, feeling
I
like so bloated.
like that was the water was one of the hardest parts for you.
And it's only because I would get busy.
Right.
And now I'm not on a 75 hard and I'm like, did I drink any water today? Like I have to check myself now. And that's exactly how I operated. Like I just would, and it was amazing. I mean, I truly think drinking a lot of water is a good
Yeah.
thing for your body, but I would miss like electrolytes. Like I have a greens drink. I like to have a coffee. I like to have those other things. And I couldn't have all those things because I was just trying to get the water in.
Yeah.
So it was, it was a lot.
Oh
It was
my
a lot
God.
of water.
But
Like 75 gallons is a lot of water.
I'm still impressed you didn't have one day. Like for when I was on it, like I said, I failed twice. So I had a restart. Luckily it wasn't, I think the second fail was a little further in, like 30 something days. I don't remember. But
What was your first one?
What?
My
first one was my first
Okay.
one was the stupid picture. I forgot. And then the second one what I'd recommend anyone who's listening is to read, if you want to do 75 hard, I would read the book of Mental Toughness by Annie Frisell. That was my book that I read.
I did that too. That's what I started because you said to do it. So I just bought it because you said to.
Yeah.
And that was the first book I read too.
It's one of my favorite books still. And if you want to do 75 hard, you have to read that book because it really clarifies the purpose of each thing.
Yeah.
And why doing it is so vital and important. And I got to a section, I think it was the diet section of the book, and he really clarifies what it means by setting your own diet and why it's so important. And I was like, as I was reading, I was like, I'm not doing this. I was doing it, but I'm like, I'm not doing this correctly. And I just mentally, like ethically for myself, I was like, I need to start over because I wasn't doing it the way he was communicating it.
Yeah.
And I was way more too lax about it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel good about this. I need to start over. So that was it for me. But my point is that book.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say by the end, I had moments where I was like, okay, am I eating like well enough? Like, is this like you have to check yourself? Like, I would have to check myself on day 66. I'm like, okay, am I eating too much fresh sourdough with peanut butter? And I'm like, well, no, I need a carb and I need this because like I noticed my body needing to eat more as I went along because I was gaining more muscle, and I realized like I need to actually like reverse diet. I need to be eating more than I was eating. Like it changed so many things for me in terms of like what is actually good for our bodies to take in. So but yeah, no, there was definitely time, especially with like the spacing between workouts. It has to be two distinct workouts, right? So it can't be like you're in the gym running on a treadmill for 45 minutes and then you jog home and that's your outdoor workout.
Right.
So, but there would be times where I'd get my workout done in the morning, really early. I'm talking 4:30 in the morning. Still to
Oh, you cut out a second, but I was laughing because you're like, yeah, 4:30 in the morning. Oh, Holly, I can't hear you. Oh, now I can. Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
good. So sorry. So sorry. I have a timer on my Instagram to keep me off, and I forgot to take it
Oh,
off. Like it
oh,
gives me I only have a certain amount of time on Instagram a day, guys. So I'm trying to stay
I like that.
intentional on my social media. But
Good.
anyway, all I was saying is that like I had to like really be smart on my timing. But there were some days where I would do my workout and then I would go outside for a walk with 2 hours in between versus the 3 hours that Andy suggests. But they were such specific workouts that for me, I felt like I was doing it correctly. Now,
Yeah.
if someone was reading the book and they're like, it has to be 3 minutes or 3 hours on the dot, then maybe they'd be like, Holly, you failed. But for me, I was like, no, I'm literally changing outfits. I am changing outfits. Like there's a whole
Whole thing.
thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I think it's also just, it's funny when to go into that a little bit, it's like people talk about 75 hard as like it's a intense fitness challenge and you'll lose all this weight and blah, 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 which is very likely true.
yeah,
But for me, I did want to lose weight, but the main purpose of why I did it was what you talked about earlier, was the discipline and
yeah,
the ability to know, like, I know I can do hard things, and I wanted to challenge myself to do hard
yeah,
things because I want to go into next, like what the main wins and successes you got out of it. But for me, I got so much out of like all the stuff that was like the common thing that was hard and I couldn't do. And like, I'm a mom and I can't do all these things. And like, there was this weird mindset I had that I wasn't able to handle certain things or do
yeah,
certain things because of all the justifications and
yeah,
reasons I created that weren't necessarily true that I was operating off of.
yeah,
When I did 75 hard, I was like, wow, I actually can do a lot. Like I can do a lot. And us
yes,
moms are actually very, even statistically, very strong, able being people. And it's like, I actually was justifying all these things to myself when why I couldn't do it, which weren't true. They really
yes,
weren't. And that I got
yeah,
out of 70. So my point is it was definitely more of like a mental challenge, which is the way
yeah,
Amy Frizella about it, than like a physical thing.
yeah.
But I talk about for you, like what you got out of it. You have a spinning circle on your face, Holly. So I hope it
Oh
comes.
no,
You come back.
I'm not
But
okay.
I want to talk about for you what were the main things you got out of it and the biggest challenges, but then what helped you overcome those and helped you in life? Like what helped you the most and what
Yeah.
gained from it the most?
Can you see me or am I still a spinny
No, come
circle?
back.
Am I not there? Can you
Okay.
see me? Am I back? I'm
Yes,
back.
you're
Okay.
back.
So I was gonna say similarly to what you said, there's definitely things that can you hear me? I'm
Yeah,
so concerned that you can't hear me. Can you still hear me? Okay, I'm back. Okay, good. There's definitely things that I like, okay, for example, I hate driving in the winter. Like I don't have to drive in the winter. I will not do it. I'm not interested. And I've gotten away with it having homeschooled my kids, not having to really go many places in the winter,
yeah.
having babies who hated the car. I could justify it. This year was a bit different. But as I did the 75 hard challenge, I almost was like seeking experiences that would test me mentally. Like I'd be
Ooh,
like, yeah, I'll drive in this storm. And in my head, I'm like, this typically would bother me, but I feel like I'm pulling from a different power source now. It's almost like I'm aware that I can take on more. I can be stronger in certain areas, less scared of stuff,
yeah.
and able to handle it. It was like I would be driving in like weather that I would typically be like, you know what? I'll call you an Uber. You know what I'm saying? But like instead, I was like, okay, it didn't freak me out in the same way. I felt like my ability to confront things that maybe would have been freaky before would it just kind of like was heightened a lot. So that was a
You're right.
big win for me because I just realized like when it started at some point in 75 hard, when there was like wind in my face, I was kind of like, that's right. Yes, like give me more of it. Like, is it downpouring? I'm in. Like it was like
Oh, I
this
love
weird,
that.
like, can I be more of a badass? Like, can I prove to myself that I'm the only person on the street right now doing the dang thing. Like, can I just be like, so I started to notice that I was interested in like putting myself in positions that were uncomfortable and then overcoming it. Like
Wow.
I was looking
Yeah.
forward to those types of things, which is so weird because past me would have been like, that's not going to happen. But it was truly, it was incredible. One of my biggest things, and I'll say, which I think as a mom is so important, is, and I had mentioned this to you before, Megan, is I realized I had time. Like I have time. Because I don't know about you, but like if I don't schedule something, like I'm a pretty go with the flow. I'm type A, but I'm also type B. Like I'm very like, if it happens, it happens. I want to feel like not structured and feel like everything like owns me. But like if I don't put control in, my day is gone. Like I don't even know what I did. Like even since doing 75 hard, I'll notice there's days I go by and I'm like, okay, there was blank space on the, and I don't know what I did with it.
Yeah.
And so it was nice for me to realize, okay, you know how everyone would always say, like, Beyonce has the same 24 hours in a day. And I'd be like, Beyonce is Beyonce, and she has like a professional chef, etc. But there was that idea of those those hype up, like, you're a mom, you have the same amount of time as Beyonce, and you're like, and it was overwhelming. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's great, but I'm not Beyonce. Like, I have 4 kids, two of which are in diapers, and one of who's constantly needs another band-aid, doesn't keep it on, and then one who doesn't like scratchy tags on their shirt. Like, I'm only one person. Like, but time can go. Like, if you
Right.
don't really create your time, it will just go. And the thing with time is, unless you are structuring your day or at least controlling the time that you have and being intentional with what, like, if you have intentional time to sit on your couch and just be like, I'm going to enjoy this moment right now and like watch Downton Abbey and love my life, that's okay. But I'm saying, if you don't have any idea of how your day is going to go, your day is literally just going to go.
Right.
And you're going to wake up and be like, what? I don't even know what happened yesterday.
Right.
And I was living my life like that, even though I was homeschooling 3 children at one time, nursing a baby. Like, I was doing a lot. And then people would say to me, you're doing so much. How do you do it? And I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. Like, I'm just going with the flow, and it's
Right.
uncomfortable and I hate it. I
Right.
never felt like I was on top of it. And then people would say, like, well, you have the same amount of hours as Beyonce. And I'd be like, screw Beyonce. Like, I just need to take a nap. So what I found with this challenge, what really became true for me, is that yes, I have the same hours in the day as Beyonce, okay? But it's what I do with my time that matters. So scheduling time, like, okay, this is my time block for working out.
Yeah.
Then I have a time block for reading my 10 pages. I'm going to enjoy my hot coffee when I do it, or my hot tizzy, which is like a hot detox tea thing that I love. And then, I'm going to walk at this time. And
Okay.
then from like, I realized that I actually got way more done, and I had more time to do things that I enjoyed. And I did all the hard things first. I really
Oh,
did
I
all
like,
the hard things first, because
you do
I
your
always,
outside workout first,
well,
right?
what ideally I would do my indoor workout at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning before the kids woke up.
Oh,
Then they'd wake up and I'd get into like the morning,
which is
oh, you're
hard.
frozen.
Because that's hard waking up and getting that done. That's
It
never
is.
like
I would
I
do I would do what I would do is I would always have my workout clothes hanging up in the bathroom, and then I would just get into that right away. Like, I'd go to the bathroom when I woke up and just got dressed right away, make my way, had everything set up. Like, I knew where everything was. I put it where it needed to be, and I would follow, like Mel Robbins, she does like the 5 4 3 2 1, and you just like jump. I would literally be like 5 4 3 2 1, and I jump out of bed and I'd be like, I hate everything. I hate this
wait,
so much.
tell me, Mel Robbins. I actually don't know what that is, but
Okay.
I listened to some stuff, but I don't know what that concept
So
is.
she has this like five, like, it's the countdown. I don't know what it's called. It's like a countdown rule where you say, like, you count down from five. You're like 5 4 3 2 1, and then you just like do the thing. So for me,
Oh,
I'd be like 5 4 3 2 1, and I would just get out of bed. I'd like give myself like a
I love
rocket launch out of
that.
bed, and I'd be so mad. Like, I'd be cursing myself. I'm like, why did you decide to do this stupid challenge? Like, you're such an idiot. Why would you do this? And I'm like, no, you're not an idiot. You're amazing. You're doing it. Like, I would have to like really like get myself into like the thing. And then I would do the thing. Then I drop off the kids. Then I would work out outside. I did a walk. I know some people do run and stuff, but for me, it was like just getting outside and walking was, I'm actually going to buy a weighted vest because once it stops snowing here in Canada, like what is happening? It's April. I'm going to be like with my weighted vest, with my stroller, with my puppy. We also got a puppy
Oh
amidst all
yeah.
of this as well.
It not only was winter and you had 4 kids, but you got a puppy and we're renovating your house. No big deal.
Yeah, and my husband was renovating the whole house. Anyway, it was just our house was in the store at 2 storage units, and it was just a we don't do anything like simple, and I like that the randomity is very high for us. We like
Yeah.
a lot of things going on.
I
But
And I
yeah.
think that says so much, Holly. Like you're right. For us moms, our button is time.
Yeah.
Like it is about time and needing time. And I think that was one of the wins I got from 75 Hard too. It's like you realize if you really commit to being intentional about when you're doing every single thing, you can make the time and you can
Yeah.
have the it's just
Yeah.
feel like things are hard and it's like all the reasons why you can't do things are
Yeah.
then it seems like that's the reason, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it seems like the time is the reason, but really if you
It's
step
not.
back, make yourself do all these things,
Yeah.
that you realize, oh, it isn't the time, it's just that I'm not being intentional and getting an exact schedule. Like you said, you laid out all
Yeah.
your stuff for the day, you had everything organized, and then you made the time to figure it out. It meant getting up
Yeah.
early probably than what you
Yeah.
were used to. But I think that's so important because it feels like that as moms when you're in the thick of it, of you can't get all this stuff done and it's
Yeah.
hard. But
And
if you
yeah.
things, there is a way to do it and there's always a solution.
There's always a solution. And I will say though, Megan, is that like there was a time in my motherhood journey that I could not do this. Like
Right.
I think this is an incredible program to really jumpstart moms, truly, and women in general. I mean men
Yeah.
too, but women in general,
Yeah.
like really giving themselves the ability to keep a promise to themselves and like really like work towards taken another post-it off the wall, which by the way is a great hack for anything you're doing. It's so satisfying. I've kept every single one of mine.
I kept all
But
my 75 hard journals too. I was like, I can't,
yes,
like,
you
this
gotta
is
hold
so
on to them.
rid of it. I can't throw it
Yeah. Don't throw them away. They're so good. But I think that they're, if you were a mom and you just had a newborn baby, like this is not it. This program right now is not it for you. You need to sleep and take care of your body and your baby, and there's different seasons of your life. Now, had I known what I know now, even as a first-time mom, maybe I wouldn't have felt so guilty about wanting to sit and watch, episodes of Grey's Anatomy while I had a newborn sleeping on me. Like maybe I wouldn't have felt guilty for doing that. It's all hindsight, but I do think that at any stage in motherhood, there are pockets of your day where you can do something for you, whether that's drinking a hot cup of tea or a hot cup of coffee or taking a hot shower or going outside for even 10 minutes for a walk, like looking around, like getting some space. I think finding those intentional moments in your day is important. So it doesn't have to be, okay, I'm going to do this massive challenge and I'm now going to like, no, if you've just had a newborn, like you need to just
Oh,
enjoy your
Holly, you're
newborn.
cutting out.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good.
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, there are certain times where like it it is really hard. Always, motherhood is hard. I think as kids get older, it's hard. Like I would argue that my 9-year-old needs me more than my 4-year-old at this point. Just emotionally navigating things that socially he wouldn't have had to navigate when he's 4. Like you're always going to be needed.
Yeah.
So it's about finding and carving out those times where you can be intentional and care for yourself. But
Yeah.
I will say, if you've had a newborn and you're like, oh, I should be doing all these things and working out, you can also just take a breath. Like you just created a person. Like you can just also sit, love on your baby, go outside when you can,
Yeah.
choose healthier foods, try to stay away from sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard, but try to stay away from sugar, lower your caffeine. Like there's things that you can do that provide you self-care that doesn't have to be this extreme
Yeah.
challenge. But
Yeah.
I truly think had I known some of the wins I would have now, I would have applied them then. Mostly being more intentional with my time, but also not feeling so guilty for taking time, for
Yes.
yourself. I
Totally.
think
Yeah.
moms,
It back to that example too, especially when your kids are a little older, like going back to setting that example, like feeling like that guilt and everything, but like look at the effect you created on them and showed them
Yeah.
that you're capable of doing like all the things, and then you stuck to it and you finished. Like that has has an effect on your kids, whether they're
Yeah,
like communicating or not, they observe it and they say,
totally.
oh, that's good, that's great, you know? Like I
Yeah.
just think that's so important when you're young to like have examples like that around you.
Well, because that is the foundation. I mean, if a child is growing up and they believe that they can do hard things and they've seen their parents do it, who are their like number one role models. People can say all the time, like, it's this or that. No, it's the parents. Like, it's how the parents are, how the father is with the mother, how the mother is like whatever, like how your parents operate is who you're looking towards, right?
Yeah.
And I think that it's a foundational time. I mean, there's never a time that you can't change something. Like even if you have a teenager, it's never too late to teach them a lesson, and not like teach them a lesson, but like show them and model. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But I think that it's important for our children to know that life is not easy. Like there are things that you're gonna have to do that you don't want to do. Like my kids don't always want to take a bath or shower. They're like, I'm good to live in my filth. And I'm like, actually, no, because it's not fair to everyone else and yourself. It's gross. But it's one
True.
of those things where, like, yeah, it's gross. But like, it's not always easy. You're not always going to get everything you want. Everything's not going to be that way. Yes, we can create the pleasure moments and we can make it the best that we can, have a very positive mindset and be the best versions of ourselves. But sometimes you're going to run into something that is hard and it's going to feel uncomfortable and you're not going to want to do it. And you're going to want to be like, peace, see ya. I'm not
Right.
even going to attempt it. But you can't do that. Like that's not how life
Yeah.
is. There
Yeah.
is stuff going on. So I think being able to model that discipline for your children, whether it's eating cleaner or getting outside for a walk or picking up a weight or whatever, the discipline of drinking more water even, or turning off the TV and picking up a book instead,
Right.
whatever it is,
Right.
it's showing your kids that like, they can do hard things, they can push past the uncomfortable. And how amazing, like I don't know if you've had this experience with your kids, but I had a child who worries a lot about stuff that never becomes a thing, but they're valid. Sorry, am I
Holly,
freezing? You're
you're cutting.
freezing.
Sorry.
Frozen.
Again,
Sorry. I was gonna
you have
I
a
was gonna say
what?
I have
No.
a child who will think up situations that have not happened and worry about it a little bit, and then will go through the experience and come out looking 10 feet tall, like so proud of themselves for doing the thing. And it's that, like that resilience, that grit, that is what is needed, because I think we just kind of need a bit more of that. I think that with that balance with some grace and some good positive mindset, it's like a recipe for like, it's so good. Like our kids need
Yes.
that resilience. And I think if you're, especially the mother, like if we're showing our kids that we can do that, they're going to be like, wait a second. I've seen her do that. I can do that too.
Yeah.
Or she can walk alongside me when I'm in that uncomfortable, because she knows that we can do hard things.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we're convicted and we're certain and we're confident in who we are and what we're doing, it it bleeds into our children. So when I'm certain about something, my kids are like, there's no waffling. They know, right? It's like anything. It's like when you're like, it's bedtime, they're like, well, it's bedtime. If you're like, we're gonna we're gonna go to this place and it's gonna be awesome, they're like, okay, it's gonna be awesome. But if you're like, I think it's bedtime, they're like, she doesn't know.
They're like,
It's not bedtime.
we're here now.
They're like, we're gonna keep playing.
Yeah.
So it's like when we're certain and confident in what we're doing, it bleeds into our families. And it's kind of like it's that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. And it's true. And I think that could be really I feel like that concept can be stressful. I know I used to feel guilty about that, but it literally, it doesn't have to be. It's just allow yourself to pour into yourself for a little bit. It could literally be reading 10 pages of
Yeah.
personal development, like self-enhancement, that alone. And a
Yeah.
walk outside,
Yeah.
forget about it.
I talk so much about that, and that's literally why I created this platform. It's like you have to, how do you expect yourself to be, like if you have this vision for yourself of like being this type, doesn't have to be perfect mom, because there's no type,
No,
there's no perfect mom on the
no.
planet, but your goal is in motherhood. And if you're not then every day eating away at that a little bit or
Yeah.
going towards that goal in 5 years or 6 years, whatever it is, that's the goal. How do you expect to be there if you're not every day doing something
Yeah.
toward? So
Have
I think,
you
go
have
ahead.
you read Atomic Habits? Okay.
No, I keep hearing it.
So that was one of the books I read on 75
Oh,
Hard. I also have the audiobook, but I was reading the book because you can't listen to an audiobook on 75 Hard. It has to
yeah,
be a physical
no,
book,
only
just
you.
so you'll know. Um, and what I love so much about it, it's all about habit forming, but one of the concepts was like, you're just trying to get 1% better every day. Like you're just trying to show up
Right,
every day and get 1% better. It's not like, okay, I'm now going to pick up a weight. I'm going to become a fitness model. It's like, no, I'm showing up every day and I'm lifting this weight and it's hard. And I sometimes some workouts I wouldn't get through like fully to the bed. Like, I'd still give it my all and I'd be like, why? And I did the Form app. I loved it. And if anyone has questions, you can DM me about it. But Sammy Clark is an incredible trainer, and she has other incredible trainers, and I could work out from home, and it's Pilates strength.
yeah,
It's amazing. But like, I would still show up and get better 1%. It's not about going from 0 to 100. That's not sustainable. Because remember, this is not a sprint. Like motherhood is not a sprint. It's not like, okay, we're just going to sprint to the end and we're going to hit our goal. It's like, it's a lifelong journey.
right.
It is a marathon. It's what you're pouring out every day. And as moms, we naturally do that. We show up no matter what. We're wiping the butts. We're changing the diapers. We're feeding the kids. We're putting the band-aids. We're picking up from here and dropping them there. Like we pour out so much to our families. So
Yeah,
even if we're showing up for ourselves 1% better every day, it compounds, right? It really truly
totally.
compounds.
Yeah,
And something I loved about that book was like, it's not about like, oh, I'm now a fitness model. It's like, no, I'm just a person who doesn't miss a workout. It's about creating those viewpoints and mindset shifts of who you are, like
yeah,
as a person. You're like, I am a person who doesn't miss a workout. And so when
yes,
you take on that identity or that viewpoint, you're like, okay, it's not like, oh, I don't eat chips. It's like, I'm a person who doesn't um my body doesn't enjoy that. Like it's just about how you change. There was a really good example. I know I'm talking so much,
no,
but it's like two people who want to quit smoking. And he mentions this in the book. And it's I think the author is James Clear. And he mentions that, okay, you offer a cigarette to one person, they say, no, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to quit. Right? I'm just trying to quit. And you're like, okay. And you offer it to another person, they go, oh, I'm not a smoker. Do you see how there's like a different viewpoint? It's like I'm not identifying with that bad habit anymore.
right,
So it's like, so then you reverse it to like, what are the habits that you want? And that's how you identify yourself. So it's not like, oh, I don't eat junk food. It's like, I'm a person who eats clean. It's like when
right.
you can't eat gluten anymore, you can't eat gluten anymore. So you're like, I'm just a person who does not eat gluten. It just
Wow.
becomes who you are. So it's
Yeah,
about getting 1% better. It's like, I'm just someone who drinks a gallon of water a day.
yeah.
I'm not, but I should be again.
No, that was great. So that's something that you attained on 75 hard
I
as
feel that
like a view.
way. Well, I just feel like as an identity, like I've never, I would walk and chat Instagram on my 75 hard challenge. Oh, you
Oh, there.
froze too. You froze.
I'm glad you
Um,
know at least. So you
yeah,
know
because
at least.
you freeze when I'm freezing. I would say like, I'm not trying to be a fitness model. Like I'm really not trying to be like this, like, well, I mean, the benefits of feeling strong are great, but like that's not the intention. And the intention is just showing up every day for myself. I show up every day for my kids. Like, don't you want your kids to show up for themselves? Yes. So why are we not modeling that for ourselves? Like the things that I would say to myself or the promises I would break for myself. Like if I found out my kids were doing that to themselves, I'd be like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So why am I not treating myself like I would treat the people I love the most in the world?
Totally.
Like we are in this body. Like let's take care of it. Let's
Yeah.
be the best version of ourselves because what are we waiting for?
Yeah.
I want my kids to be the best versions of themselves. And if they treated themselves the way that I've treated myself in the past, I'd be seriously mad. Like I'd be like, it's time out for all of y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah.
would be, this is not okay. So
Right.
like, why am I doing that to me? It's so easy to justify as a mom. It's so easy to not allow yourself to to just be the better version. I don't know.
Yeah,
And it has to click. You have to want it. That's the thing too, is you have to want to. It's a decision. So there's some moms that might, or women who are watching this right now are like, that is not for me. I'm not interested. I'm happy. I don't want to be the best version of myself. That's fine. But if there's something that's tugging at your heart saying, I wonder if maybe I could pick up a weight, or I wonder if I could walk outside for 20 minutes, or I wonder if I could drink an extra glass of water, or read a book that might change a viewpoint or make me feel a certain way, then do it. Like, don't ignore those tugs, because that could literally open the door to something totally transformational for you. Because it's like a butterfly effect. You have no idea what could happen if you say yes to something that is actually for your good. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh,
So,
it's beautiful. That was beautiful because my last question for you was just like, why should moms do 75 hard after having done it with 4 children in the extreme blizzard, cold winter weather of Canada? Like, what? I guess we kind of went over that, but anything else you want to add
I guess
to?
I just think that it's hard. Like, do not hear me and think that it's easy. And it's like, yeah, I think there's been versions of myself in the past where I would watch a live like this and be like, okay, moms, like whatever, like not for me, like pass, swipe. Because it's so, when you're in it, when you're
Yeah,
in the trenches, sometimes it's so hard to see out of it.
right.
It's so hard to be like, I don't know what y'all are on. Like, I don't think I can do that. I'm in my sweatpants every day. I just don't. Well, guess what? You can work out in sweatpants. You can walk outside in sweatpants. But I'm just saying, like, it's so hard sometimes to pull yourself out of it. And I don't think there's anything wrong for acknowledging when you're in the trenches. Like, when you're like, this is not, I'm not, but that uncomfortable feeling of like, oh, this not like, maybe there's something more to
Yeah.
that. Maybe it does mean like going, honestly, the walks, anyone listening, walks over anything, like getting outside, even not listening to music, just like being outside for walks, looking around, does wonders. I truly think it is the number one thing that um it could change, especially if you're in that new mama life, like getting
Yeah.
outside, get that baby on your body, get them in the stroller, whatever. Walk outside, sit outside, even if you can't, like sit, observe, like just get some space. Because I think that can then also propel you to like, you know what, maybe I do want to, walk a little faster. Maybe I do want to pick up a weight. Maybe I want to take a yoga class. Like, but I think acknowledging where you're at and then also where you want to go. Because I would hate for moms to watch this and feel bad about not being in the state that we're in. I was never in this state before. I just want to point it out. Like, I started on that couch in the house coat. Like, I've been online doing many lives. Many people have seen me in the past with like babies literally in the ergo on me. Like, I'm doing my makeup with the babies on me, and people are like, what is this wild woman doing? I'm like, I'm just here showing up. So I've been there, and I've been to the depth of like, I can't do anything for myself, started to feel those hints of resentment. Like, I've been there. And so it is possible to get on the other side. You have to want to, but also acknowledge where you're at and then where you want to go. And then maybe even see, okay, what is that person over there doing? What can I implement? Like, reverse, like engineer back to where I am, I like in my current space, right?
Right.
And just be gentle with yourself. Like, we have the most important job on the planet. Like,
It's
be gentle with yourself. Like, it
yeah.
doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't exist. So, doing what you can do when you can do it, I'm telling you, I think is like the first step. And maybe it'll bring you to a point where you're like, okay, in a year from now, you're like, I'm in a position where I'm going to do that crazy 75 hard
Yeah.
challenge that I saw on Instagram a year ago that scared me because I was there, you
Yeah.
know?
I love that. I feel like you said that so
Ah,
perfectly. You
well,
did.
thanks.
Killed
Well, thanks,
it.
thanks.
Well, thank you, Holly.
Thank
Where,
you.
so you're on our thread. They can follow you here on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's the main thing you're on.
Yes, I am. I do have a TikTok account that I've had videos. I've hidden them because I think I might do a TikTok rebrand. To be honest, I'm a little scared of TikTok. I feel like not. I feel like after a certain hour, everything in TikTok gets a little bit crazy, and maybe it's just because I'm like an older millennial. I'm like, I don't know if I belong there, but
I felt this
I'm gonna go.
way, and now I
And
love it.
the thing is, I love to creep TikTok. I've learned so much on TikTok, but I'm like, do I want to put myself there? And maybe I will. My handle is the exact same as it
Okay.
is here on Instagram. Yeah.
Well, this was really inspiring and definitely rekindled.
Oh gosh.
I was on 75 hard. I'll post it on my page so other people can watch it too.
Awesome.
But thank
Th-
you for doing this.
Thank
This
you
is
for having me.
so,
I
so
love Mama
like
to
I
Mama.
really think it is. Like if you can do it again as a mama of four in Canada in the middle of winter while all the things that were happening in your life, like
Hmm.
a testament, it's just a testament to
Thanks.
what we're
Yeah.
capable of as moms. And that whatever viewpoint, like I think it's good to reevaluate too if someone's trying to maybe do 75 hard or like do some sort of thing differently to put in the self-care
Yeah.
or just as a mom. It's like you really have to look at like, was there any past viewpoints or things that said or that you said to yourself that were just maybe not true?
Yes.
That's why you couldn't do something. Like just to look at that in a new like amount of time. Like really right now look at anything from the past that has ever stopped you, whether it was a partner said or a friend or another mom or whatever, that maybe you operated or then took to heart but wasn't actually true. That's stopping where you want to go now. Just something to acknowledge and look at as maybe false that you can now in present time operate like, okay, that was not true. I actually can do these things. And hopefully that can maybe change a bit for some moms to like look at what they can do for themselves. And what a great example for their kids too.
Totally. Thank you so much for having me. I love Mama to Mama. I love everything you're doing. I feel like this is only the beginning for you. Truly. I feel like it's going to be you're going to expand. I know it. I can feel it.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to have to come to Nashville and hang out with you.
Yes.
For real.
Nashville.
I'm drinking out of my cup from Nashville.
Oh, you are? I love that.
In honor. I literally left half my heart there when I was there last year, so I'm gonna have to come back.
We're gonna come.
I'm excited.
We're already gonna happen.
Manifesting it.
Okay. Well, we'll do another interview soon, I'm sure.
Yes. Thanks, Megan.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, bye.